Jenny Hval is a Norwegian singer-songwriter, music producer, and novelist. She started as a vocalist for the gothic metal band Shelley's Raven. When she was studying in Australia, she sung for a couple of bands, I Panic and Folding for Air. After she moved back to Norway, she started to release solo music. The first couple of albums, starting in 2006, were credited to the name Rocket to the Sky, all one word. She had one more as Rocket to the Sky, and then since then she's had 8 solo albums under her own name. Hi, my name's Dan, and this is a review of Iris Silver Mist, which is a new album by Jenny Hval. I'm never quite sure if I'm pronouncing Hval right. And I've been attracted to do this because I have done some Jenny Hval reviews before, and she's gone down well with me. Most of the reviews on this channel are actually not new releases. There's a list of the 3,000 greatest albums of all time, according to a website called Acclaim Music, and I'm working my way up from number 3,000. We'll see if I ever get to number 1. It's a long haul. I'm about a third of the way through at this point, but sometimes I do step off that. One of the reasons for doing that is to do new releases that I'm particularly attracted to and want to have a go at. So that's why I'm doing this review. And it's about 3 days as I record this from when the albums come out. So not super fast, but reasonably recent. Occasionally I manage to get reviews out on the day of release of an album, but that's quite an effort. So let's get into it. This, I would describe it as art rock, or I have done so far. It's kind of, maybe art pop, it's kind of avant-garde, experimental, something like that, but it's not as experimental to my mind as some of the other albums of hers that I've heard, and it didn't bowl me over in the way that some of her previous albums have when I've reviewed them. So let's do some descriptions. So the backing, musical backing, is mostly it's got quite a prominence of like synth pads. And then drum patterns, I assume, although I don't know, that these have been, these are not just off-the-shelf drum patterns. Somebody's played them, but that it sounds like they've been sampled and then looped, which is quite a common thing to do these days. It could be programmed, because programming drum loops can get quite convincing these days. Musically, it's got quite a lot of extended chords. So by that I mean, so a standard chord is 3 notes, but then you add notes on the top, and a lot of the chords that have been played here are kind of these lush extended chords. There are other instruments in here as well, often kind of orchestral instruments. There's a fair amount of acoustic instruments. I didn't really hear or notice bass coming through, and that gives it a kind of airy sound, not having that. And the whole thing sounds expansive, almost ambient at times, although ambient has often got less going on. I'm not explaining that very well, am I? Kind of airy. Let's try to use that instead. There are some bits in it that have got kind of more unusual sounds in it. So Spirit Mist, for example, has got some sound effects in it. There are other bits that I would say are almost mainstream for Jenny Hval. From the stuff that I've heard, this is bringing her closer to the mainstream. Sometimes I thought the drum patterns that used feel a bit hip-hoppy or trip-hoppy, possibly, but not always. Not in a negative way. Vocals. So she has a nice voice. It's a kind of sweet, open voice. Often there's harmonies in there, and again that adds to this kind of ethereal, airy feel to the whole thing. There are spoken bits as well. Sometimes her attitude to tune is a bit Bjork. By which I mean kind of not where I'd go in a tune. It's fairly random, it feels, but it works. It's just there's an attitude to putting this together that is just not uh yeah, mainstream in a sense. And also not necessarily using the same bits of tune over and over again, which is what a lot of songs do. The whole album's a kind of continuum. So as far as I can make out, it's a kind of concept album. There are themes in here, but I didn't pick out more than kind of general themes. So there's a theme definitely of memories, some kind of bittersweet feel to that. Especially it seems to be memories of her mother. There's also a theme of being on stage, and there's a theme of cigarette smoke which I think is from the memories of a mother, and roses, and I don't know where that comes from. And there's a kind of connection between cigarettes and roses comes through at points in here. Overall, it's kind of mildly melancholic, but it's quite gentle as an album. And yeah, you've probably seen the score. I've given it a good score. It's just not amazing. So I was hoping for something a bit more that would, knock my socks off, and it wasn't quite that good, but it's still good. It may be it needs more listens. Maybe it's a grower. Sometimes albums are, and I don't necessarily have the time to give as many listens as it would take to really dig into an album. So um, yeah, so good, but still mildly disappointing is my overall thought. As always, I'd love to invite you to tell me what you think of this album. So, what do you think? Please tell me by leaving me a comment. Now, it's only been out a few days, so the chances are you don't know the album. So, why not go and have a listen? I would recommend it for most people, even though it's a bit unusual. It's quite accessible, I'd say. So, go and have a listen, and then let me know what you think by leaving me a comment, please. And that's it from me for now.